Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is Tech HD coming at you with another video, and today we're going to be taking a look at a brand new capture card from AVerMedia. This is the Live Gamer 4K 2.1, and if you guys remember a few videos back, I reviewed the portable version, the USB-C version. This is the Live Gamer Ultra 2.1, where it accepts HDMI 2.1, works on USB, works on your laptop, and works on desktop. I love this capture card. It is great for portability and all, but now we're going to be taking a look at the PCIe version. And honestly, from spec wise, there is nothing different between the two, but this one just specifically works for the desktop, whereas the other one is portable and is compatible for both the laptop and the desktop. So we're going to dive in, we're going to take a look at the specs, talk about the features, what it has to offer, the price, and see if it's overall a good option or not. Now, diving into what it comes with, we got the quick start guide, diagram on the box to show you how to hook everything up, an HDMI 2.1 cable, and lastly the capture card itself. Taking a look at the I/O, it has an HDMI 2.1 in and out port, and it uses a PCIe Gen 3x4. I personally love the look of the capture card. The RGB zone is simple and not overwhelming, and I love that it has a backplate. Setting up the capture card was straightforward. You just connect the capture card into one of the PCIe slots in your motherboard and plug your device into the HDMI in port and then HDMI out port from the capture card to your monitor. That is pretty much it. You could download the AVerMedia gaming utility and the latest firmware to ensure that it's up to date. Once on the software, you can control the RGB zone to multiple modes like rainbow, breathing, static, and so much more. You can also download the Rec Central software to capture gameplay if you don't want to use OBS. Now, getting into the specs and what this capture card supports, in the pass-through, it could do 4K up to 144Hz, 1440p 240Hz, and 1080p 360Hz. All of these also support HDR and variable refresh rate. It could also do ultra widescreen support like 3440 by 1440p at up to 120Hz pass-through. For capturing, you could do 4K 60, 1440p 120, and 1080p 240, but these are limiting you to SDR and V12 at 420. If you want to capture HDR P010, you would need to go down to 4K 30, 1440p 60, and 1080p 120. If you want to capture using the XRGB 444 or YUY2 422, only 1440p and 1080p are compatible at that frame rate. 4K could do YU2 422 at 50 FPS. Now, for reference, just so you guys know, I tested this capture card on my BenQ EX2710U, which has HDMI 2.1 and supports up to 4K 120Hz. I also have my Xbox Series X, PS5, and gaming PC all hooked up to an HDMI 2.1 switch, so I could easily change from one device to another, and I'm glad to say that even with the switch in between the devices, everything still works and I've had no issues in my testing. I'm gonna have the HDMI switch linked down in the description below so that you guys can have something compatible with HDMI 2.1. Now, in my testings, you can see in the Xbox Series X that it supports everything up to 4K 120Hz except Dolby Vision. Same thing goes with the PS5. I could do 4K 120Hz and enable HDR and variable refresh rate. I could also do 1440p 120Hz, of course, and lastly on the PC I could do 4K 120Hz. Now, I tested this for weeks using it to stream and to just game, and I've never dealt with any issues, no connection problems where it doesn't pop up on my monitor or in OBS, no freezing, and no issues when using variable refresh rate. Latency is very low, milliseconds of a difference, which is to be expected since it's plugged directly into the motherboard and you don't have to worry about delaying your webcam and microphone to match your gameplay. Speaking of the gameplay, it felt smooth and looks detailed, and I love that I could finally utilize my monitor and consoles to its fullest potential while I'm also streaming. Capturing gameplay, on the other hand, is a bit limiting. Like I mentioned before, you are limited to SDR and NV12 capture at the highest resolution and frame rate, and if you want to capture HDR, XRGB 444, or YUY 422, then you'll need to drop frame rates, so you're either sacrificing resolution or frame rate, or both, which is sad to see on an internal capture card. I would understand these limitations on an external capture card that uses USB like the Live Gamer Ultra 2.1, but the PCIe Gen 3x4 slot should provide plenty of bandwidth for the capture card to take advantage of the XRGB, YUY, and HDR at the highest resolution. So after testing the capture card and streaming with it, I've had no problems with the pass-through portion and streaming with it. Streaming on Twitch, YouTube, or Kick is compressed anyway, so viewers are typically not going to really see a big difference. But it's the capturing portion that is limiting, and I feel like will disappoint a lot of you guys and prevent you from purchasing this capture card. There's just a lot of limitations for this capture card for being a next gen and after 3 years of waiting, and for it to cost $270, that's tough to decide on. Some of you might complain about there not being any difference when it comes to the Live Gamer Ultra 2.1, so why go with one or the other? Some of you might like that since both have the same price, so either deciding whether you want the internal version or the external and not losing anything for picking one over the other. I personally wouldn't mind paying extra on an internal capture card if it offered those things that were missing. Lastly, no 4K 120 capture. I know a lot of you guys are going to be bummed out about that. Not sure if it's a limitation issue, but I feel like that we're not so much there yet as of right now. But there you guys have it. That is my thoughts on the AVerMedia Live Gamer 4K 2.1 capture card. Like I said, if you guys care about the pass-through and use it for streaming, then this is fine for that. But for capturing, that's when I'll wait for other competitors to come out with their versions and see if they'll do a better job. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any questions or concerns, please let me know down in the comments below, and everything is going to be linked down in the description below. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so that you guys can be notified whenever I upload a new video. Follow me on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok at @tech_HD1. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace!